Okay, here we go. I have a confession to make to you today. Until 15 minutes ago, I was unprepared. I was not prepared to face you. Then I took 15 minutes ago, Unimate. Now I am not only prepared, I am on fire, clear thinking, enthusiastic, and then I had another problem. Thinking clearly about who I'm addressing, all of you with credentials and experience, I got stressed. So I reached in my drawer and pulled out my stress aid. Now I'm on fire and I'm also relaxed. So some of you wrote me angry emails when we discontinued this product. We not be discontinued. So be of good cheer. Thank you for your letters. I read them and we took action. Now, last week, I talked about a certain captain who said 8 very famous words in his ship's log. He said, "This day we sailed on, west, southwest." You know where I got that quotation? I got it from this little wooden box. I have accumulated since I started my sales career, which those of you who know me well was 140 years ago. I'd say 40, but I know you wouldn't believe that. 140 years ago. And this is that card where I got that saying. I'm going to block out the person who said it. This day we sailed on, west, southwest, amid storms, strife, hurricanes, mutinous crews, good, bad, this man sailed on. Now, the first 5 people who know who I was talking about and entered it in that message block, we will send you, Matt and Amanda will find something nice to send you in the mail. First 5. And then at the end of the session, our host will give you the answer. You probably already know, but it's worth noting. Now, our host today is Dr. Coleen Andruss. Dr. Coleen Andruss is a person I've spent a lot of time with. She blew the Hawaii contest off the doors. And she did that because she does her business in a very intelligent way. Smart woman, board certified in obesity medicine, board certified in internal medicine, probably half a dozen others I don't know about. She's a clinician, a clinical professor at Rocky Vista University. So let's welcome our host today with a big thanks, Dr. Coleen Andruss.
Thank you, Clayton, so much for that wonderful introduction. And thank you, Unicity, for sponsoring these weekly Zoom calls. You know, we have had some absolutely amazing information presented to us in these sessions. We've heard from Mike Saunders, Head of Research and Development. We've heard from Dan Hughes, our Chief Operating Officer in Asia and Pacific, how Unicity has been prepared and how Unicity is maintaining the product development despite this difficult time that we are in currently with coronavirus. And most recently, we also heard from Rick Jordan, our Crown Diamond. Thank you, Rick, for hosting an excellent Zoom meeting last week, where we heard from several testimonials about Unicity products as well as Unicity as a business. So now, more than ever, we need the sciences of health. Unicity is dedicated to developing advanced product formulations that can improve the health and the quality of life for people everywhere. You know, Unicity searches around the world to find solutions that can transform our health. This company is dedicated to science, but more importantly, they're dedicated to human health, to make our lives better. You know, if we really want to live a healthy lifestyle, we should really just start by putting the right food on our kitchen table, right? But the problem is that our modern diet is full of highly processed, nutrient-sparse foods that feed the bad bacteria and starve the good bacteria. There then starts that battle between the good and the bad bacteria, and we certainly don't want that bad bacteria to win this war. So we need to have this good balance in order to create better metabolic health. And certainly what's really important now is better immune function. Unicity has recruited top scientists from around the world to create a very elite Unicity science team. These scientists from around the world combine their knowledge, their technology, and their desire in order to better our health. This science team is our driving force in order for us to make life better. So this evening, I am elated and happy to introduce the newest member of the Unicity science team, Dr. Lucas Grant. I had the privilege the other morning of having a very nice hour-long discussion with him. He is in Singapore, kind of hunkered down there because of the coronavirus. But we had a great conversation, and I'm excited to be able to introduce him. Dr. Grant received his doctorate degree in microbiology, food and nutrition sciences from the University of Queensland, Australia. He was a researcher at the Centre for Nutrition and Food Sciences in Australia, helping to discover new properties of food that enhance our health. His doctoral research focused on unique functional foods, plant nutrients, and their relationship to health outcomes, as well as the power of the microbiome and how it is linked to our overall health and well-being. Dr. Grant has worked as a research scientist in research and development of innovative health and supplement products. He is a published scientist with numerous publications in the scientific fields of prebiotics, probiotics, the microbiome, and most recently, dietary fiber. He has presented his research at leading world conferences. I would like now to introduce you to Dr. Lucas Grant, who will talk to us about some of his research, but also discuss some of my favorite products, which is Balance C, Bio7, and the newest Probionic Plus. Dr. Grant, welcome to Unicity.
Thank you, Dr. Andruss, for that great introduction. I'll share my screen now for everyone to. So as Dr. Andruss mentioned, I'm one of the newest members to the Unicity science team, and it's really great privilege to be a part of a company that really supports research and development. And that was part of the attraction of this company, was the scientific principles that are really utilized to make these great products that are just outstanding and so important for our health. So I've been with the company for about 6 weeks now, so I'm very fresh. I've just arrived in Singapore at the moment from Australia. And as Dr. Andruss mentioned, there is a current lockdown, so I'm from my house right now, broadcasting to you. So why is it so important for these nutraceutical and health beneficial products? Well, firstly, some background. Some of the most serious risks to global health have now been related to diet, and this is really important. So some of the biggest risk factors is metabolic syndrome, such as obesity, high cholesterol, poor nutrient diets, and this is really affecting our global health status. And this is really why it is now more than ever that we really have to address these issues and get us back on track to a more beneficial and healthy lifestyle. So what has been happening with the changes in our diet? Well, if you think about diet, it's actually maintenance. Just like you would paint a house. I haven't got a house here to paint, but I have done a lot of painting in the past. It's quite an enjoyable experience, that relaxation that you get from developing and improving your home. Like most of you will always improve your home, renovate, but we don't often think about maintaining or improving our health with what we put into our bodies. And this is really why we have to think about diet as really a maintenance issue. and not just for obtaining energy. So our modern diets have really been changing extensively. So over time, there's been this gradual drop in fibrous rich vegetables, and it's really changing the way we get nutrients in our environment. So there's been a real decrease in this total vegetable content, and this is a rich source of phytonutrients and plant extracts that we really need for our health. So what has been replacing this? So with this decrease in total vegetable intake, healthy foods, there's been an uptake, a surge in this intake of processed foods, these ultra processed foods that are energy dense, but very little nutritional value. And this has been steadily increasing, and up to 50% now of the energy intake in the food basket at the supermarket is actually very dense, nutrient lacking foods. So the governments have actually reacted to this, giving these fiber recommendations for 25 grams for women per day and 38 grams per day for men. But over time, Americans are actually consistently not reaching these targeted goals. But I wanted to talk about this in a way. The government has recommended these fiber recommendations for health, but what they don't take into consideration is how fibers are actually different. There's actually a real differentiation between the types of dietary fiber in your diet and the beneficial outcomes. It's like comparing these two vehicles. Not all fiber is the same. If you think about this Porsche and this car at the bottom, what that I don't know whoever designed this one, but it's from Britain, so we'll blame them for it. It's actually if you compare these two and you think about fiber in this way, we use this broad umbrella term of fiber, but it's actually not that simple in terms of the way that the science and the real impact it has on our body can change. So if you think about the different fibrous structures that we take into account, there's real importance in the way that we improve our health and really detecting that proper scientifically proven fiber for our diets. And so when I think about fiber, one of the biggest impacts it has is on our gut microbiome. And this is one of the issues that is not taken into account when the government gives these dietary fiber recommendations. So the microbiome is this real important community of beneficial bacteria, the good bacteria that Dr. Andruss talked about, that lives in your gut and really helps with that digestive health. Now, the issue here is that we talk about prebiotics. Now, if you know what a prebiotic is, it actually increases the growth of beneficial bacteria. Now, dietary fiber, some types of dietary fiber can be prebiotic, but not all fibers are prebiotic. And this is really where some of the confusion around dietary fiber comes from, and why it's really important to seek out that scientifically proven beneficial fibers that we utilize here at Unicity. So this relationship with the microbiome and our health, it's related to gastrointestinal and digestive health, a reduction in allergies, immune health, metabolic health. And there's this huge link between this microbiome community that lives within us and the beneficial health that we can obtain. So it actually works for you. The microbiome is your set of workers, if you think about it, much like an office. If you were a manager and you had a team working for you, but you have to give it what it requires. So you give it a home and you give it the nutrients that it needs, and in return you get obtain many amounts of beneficial nutrients to support your health. And this is one of the major reasons why it's been changing so significantly. So if you think about a healthy microbiome, much like a healthy, diverse community that we live in, so the cities that we've built, they work together, and this is like thousands of groups with important roles, and these are similar to our communities that we live in. And the reason that it's been changing so much is that when we talk about a healthy community, what happens when a healthy community fails? Now, I like to use this analogy when someone goes on strike and there's a breakdown in that community. There's a breakdown in the services that you need. Here I've shown an image of the garbage just piling up. Again, this is from Britain, so I hope no one's English here. But it's really a breakdown that in that community that's happening here, and it's leading to problems. If we take this analogy, increased inflammation, metabolic syndrome, there's a really imbalance in our health and well-being. So why are we seeing this decline and this breakdown of this bacterial community in our guts? Well, there's a range of issues. Our modern lifestyles, as I mentioned, processed foods are increasing, medications such as strong antibiotics are changing the way that the bacterial population is there. Our environmental stresses such as pollution, chemicals, pesticides, the foods that we eat are more shelf stable, so they're very antimicrobial. And this is really changing the way the microbiome it really works. And there's an association between this declining diversity of the microbiome and increased weight gain. And this is really important for its relationship with metabolic health. And we actually see from research that people that live in more rural origins, so they're eating more plant fibrous materials, and they live in a more natural environment with relation to agriculture and soils and forests. And this actually they have an increased diversity in their microbiome. But when they relocate to the US, their diversity actually decreases. And this is the pressures from the city, the modern lifestyles that we live in, and the changes in the dietary factors. And this is really interesting to show that the modern lifestyle is really changing the way that we utilize and extract nutrients from our microbiome, and the way it's changing for the detriment to our health. So one of the ways that can really boost your microbiome is this BIOS 7 with its microbiome boost. And the reason this is really important, and I wanted to give you that background information, is because this product was actually shown to increase microbial diversity up to 58 times. And as I mentioned, it's a really important factor. So we've seen that there's an association between a decreased bacterial population, a beneficial population in your gut, and this problematic metabolic syndrome. So increasing your bacterial population is really important to increase your overall health. Another really great way that this product works is it actually it provides nutrients and fiber support to actually increase the growth of beneficial bacteria. And this is really important for allowing the beneficial bacteria to grow, the good guys, if you like, and this actually decreases the chances of that bad bacteria potentially taking over and giving some detrimental effects to your health. But that's not only that this product, it actually can make the fiber matrix actually makes a gel-like substance, and this can help with satiety, making you feel fuller, so you actually decrease the intake of calories that you're consuming. And there's another relationship here with the microbiome and metabolic health. So the diet that we input to the microbiome actually helps it increase these beneficial substances that it can produce. And these substances can actually be used as signaling molecules that help our body more well utilize our hormonal responses. So these are related to energy intake, helping our cells boost what they're required to do. And it's really important for this relationship to be really beneficial to each other. So the microbiome gets most of its support from this fibrous, rich plant material. And this product has really been shown to boost that beneficial bacteria that can help regulate your metabolism and decrease that food intake. In fact, 70% of the energy required by the cells in your gut actually comes from the product of a healthy microbiome. And this is really showing a huge relationship between these two properties. So the input of these healthy products such as Bio7 that really has been shown to boost that bacterial population can actually help better regulate your energy requirements and help you have more vitality. And Bio7 has also been shown to support glucose. So when we talk about that Porsche that we were talking about, we really want to see a reduction in blood glucose levels. And this is really important for this Bio7 to reduce this fasting blood glucose after a meal, because we know that increased blood glucose will lead to increased insulin in the blood, and this can have a range of negative effects on metabolic syndrome. So we really need to reduce that blood glucose level and switch into that fat burning zone to really optimize our metabolic health. And as an example, when we talk about these glucose spikes, if you see the image on the left at the top, you see this sharp increase of glucose over time. And this is really when you've had a big, heavy carbohydrate meal and you get that instant spike of glucose. And the graph on the bottom is actually a sustained release of glucose. And this is really what we want to see, a reduction in these glucose spikes that are really important for maintaining metabolic health. And when I talked about there's varying degrees and not all dietary fibers are the same, of course, this is one of the key aspects of the differences. It's really showing this reduction in glucose spikes. And this can really make it the Porsche of the dietary fiber product range. So I've seen a lot of research from other potential products that actually haven't shown this reduction in glucose spikes and haven't shown the slow release of glucose in the blood. And this is really why that not all fiber products are the same. Another great product is this Unicity Balance. And I really wanted to talk about this one because it's so important for reducing that healthy cholesterol, for maintaining healthy cholesterol, really supporting that. And the way it does this is supporting healthy cholesterol levels. And there's a few mechanisms, and this is really why this product is really targeted at doing this. There's actually support from, firstly, the lowering, so there's two ways you can obtain cholesterol: through the diet, and can also be synthesized in the body. So this is actually a two-pronged approach. So this product actually helps the production of these beneficial nutrients for your health that actually lowers the synthesis of cholesterol in the body, particularly LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol. Another way that it helps is it actually, a lot of bile acids are actually produced from cholesterol, and these are excreted into the gut. But the body can actually reabsorb these and reuse them. But if this product prevents the uptake of bile acids, then more cholesterol is being utilized. And this actually helps reduce the cholesterol within your blood, particularly the LDL bad cholesterol. Another way in this product is these phytosterols that are really important for reducing the absorption of cholesterol from your diet. So I talked about that diet is another real important point of incorporating cholesterol, and the other way was synthesizing in your own body. And this actually reduces the absorption from your diet, which is really important with these diets that we often eat with high meat products in our diets today. Excuse me. I'm not sure if anyone would have this diet. It was a great image to really show how it really supports that reduction in these this absorption of cholesterol from the diet. And I also wanted to talk about probiotics. So the probiotics are really important in helping that boosting that microbiome and maintaining those healthy supportive fibers. So we talked about prebiotics. So prebiotics are what helps boost the good bacteria that Dr. Andruss mentioned in the gut. But probiotics are actually beneficial bacteria themselves that we intake to really give it that boost. And I wanted to point out the differences of, some people say, well, why do I need probiotics now? Well, the reason you need them now is because our food has really changed. this ultra processed foods that we eat. This is that really nutrient poor products that we often really like, this ice creams and the chicken nuggets and the food that we love to really indulge in. But it's shelf stable and it's very antimicrobial. It's high in preservatives, it's high in pesticides, and the environment has really changed as well because we live in these modern cities. We're not interacting with our environment as much as we used to. A good source actually of beneficial bacteria in the past has been through the soils and agriculture of our natural world that we would obtain naturally. So this is what I wanted to talk about. Like, I always like to turn to nature when you need to find out a concept of what's going wrong in our modern lifestyle. And this is how, like, pre-urbanization and the microbiome, we were in this natural environment and we were constantly being exposed to more beneficial microorganisms of our natural world. Of course, our world has now changed, and this is our new jungle, our concrete jungle. It's very little natural life. Some of us will possibly not even step into the natural wilderness that very often at all. And this is a real change in the way that the modern lifestyle has impacted our dynamic microbiome system and our overall health. And this is why Probiotic Plus is such a great product for really putting back in that beneficial bacteria that we often really require a boost in for our health. And this product is really great that it has a multi-strain, 11 different strains of bacteria that are really important and have been shown to have some real beneficial health outcomes. And some of these are such as they're antipathogenic, so they can reduce the instances of that potentially bad bacteria that was mentioned growing in the gut. It can help with that reduction of allergies and helps with immune health. And often these are related to that. I talked about supporting the microbiome. So it has a range of those other benefits of helping metabolic health through the regulation of our hormones to obtain optimal health for our metabolism. And this product is really great because it has this encapsulation, and this is an important aspect and why this Unicity product is very different from a lot of competitors. Encapsulation is actually a protective coating for this bacteria. So what happens is when you ingest a probiotic, the stomach is this acidic, harsh environment, and it can actually, it's there to like sort of neutralize and destroy any foreign incoming organisms. And the problem is that this can be very harsh on probiotics. So it needs this protection to really get it into the gut where it's supposed to be to really give you this benefit. And this quadruple layered protection is really important for that probiotic. And this is real differentiation from some of the other products out there that don't have this protective layering to help you get the probiotics that you need. So these products are really important for achieving that healthy microbiome and boosting your cholesterol and metabolic health. And along with a healthy, diverse diet and regular exercise and adequate sleep, these products are really important for boosting and supporting your metabolic and immune health. We all know that we need that more than ever now. But really, I wanted to mention that these products are now more than ever, before this current crisis, with the rise of metabolic syndrome and the importance of these dietary factors being some of the greatest risks to global health. So together, we can really change the world and improve these people's lives with improving their metabolic health and changing those global risk factors to dietary health. So thank you so much for listening to my talk today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Grant, for that fantastic presentation about some of my favorite products. You know, gut health has become so important in the medical field, and the recognition that it is so necessary for metabolic balance is critical. You know, you have certainly joined the right company with your expertise and your background and your passion for what you do. Unicity's scientific innovation and implementations really sets our company apart from a lot of competitors. You know, our topic this evening really reinforces, as you said, the importance of regulating the balance between the gut and the brain. It's important for digestion. It's important for our immunity, inflammation, weight loss, mood, cognitive function, and most importantly, our metabolic health. And we're really fortunate that we have products that are based on science, some of that science which you presented this evening. So I want to reinforce something that I mentioned in my Zoom call a few weeks ago when I was with Mike Saunders of Research and Development, and that is that the products work if they're used correctly and consistently. The evidence is there. So we as leaders and consumers must really stress to those around us who are using these products the importance of using them correctly, the importance of consistency, and the reasons why they should be used. If people don't understand the why, they're never going to continue to use them long term. So, you know, thank you, Dr. Grant, for reminding us of that why. And, you know, the Balance C and the Bio7 both, you know, promoting that healthy glucose level, lowering insulin, helping cholesterol, lipid numbers, and overall heart health. The Bio7 having the added benefit of that prebiotic, which really feeds that good bacteria in our gut, and the Probiotic Plus, which is an amazing product, adding that good bacteria to our gut system for even more benefit. So, you know, we need these products now more than ever for that metabolic balance and for our immunity. So, you know, Unicity is dedicated to making life better. So, let's talk about the great promotion that we have going on. You can buy 2 of the Balanced Cholesterol, or 2 of the Bio7, or 1 of each, so any of those combinations, and you can get the Probiotic Plus for 50% off. This promotion starts now, so you better act now. Order before the weekend. This is your call to action. This is your chance to improve your metabolic health. Now, Clayton mentioned a little quote in the beginning. This day we sailed on west-southwest. So I hope that we have some people who've responded to this as far as who this quote was by. And it was Christopher Columbus, for those of you who answered that. You know, Christopher Columbus, I mean, what a powerful example of exploring a new world, right? I mean, riding through treacherous winds and storms. So, you know, I think that we have to look at that, especially with this time in our life, to really move forward and promote the news of health and well-being. So thank you to all of you who are on this call tonight. I applaud those of you who are here. You're here because you care. It means you are ready to take action. It means you want to learn more about how you can make life better. Life is fragile and life is precious, so spread the news of health and well-being. Continue to participate in these weekly Zoom calls so that you can continue to understand and believe. So I'll wrap up this call by announcing next week's Zoom call host. Kelly Shin Choi will be hosting the May 14th call. So don't miss it, and watch for the invite and the Zoom link sometime toward the middle of next week. And don't forget the great promo. Get those orders in before the end of the week. Thank you so much. Remember, there is no better time than now. Thank you, Unicity. Thank you, Dr. Grant. Thank you, Clayton. And thank you for everybody else who is on this call.